Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of the Fiio E11. This is a headphone amplifier which sold online for about $60 or so. You can get it through Amazon or through the company's website, and it offers a high-fidelity audio quality experience. It's relatively lightweight and it can be used with a wide range of digital devices such as a smartphone, an MP3 player, a CD player, even computers, and it will improve the audio performance. So it's a tool that, let's say, discerning listeners or audiophiles may want to consider picking up when they're using more portable devices when on the go. Otherwise, it has, again, a relatively lightweight look to it, and it's made out of aluminum, which is decent, although it does have a bit of bend and give to it. We'll talk about the overall construction and the design in a moment, but this is what the box looks like. We'll take a closer look again at this in a moment. It uses a rechargeable lithium-ion battery, which can be charged using a provided mini USB cable. It takes roughly 2.5 hours to completely charge, and then we used it for about 10 hours without too many issues, and then we had to recharge it again. It does use a Nokia cell battery, which is kind of interesting. And again, this is the BL-5B, so it can be interchanged in case this one dies, which is nice to see. It's a 890 milliamp hour capacity power pack. So taking a look at the design of the E11 first, again, it is made out of metal, so it is relatively sturdy as far as construction is concerned. There's a few plastic accents along the rims, but overall it's a pretty compact form factor. It's about the same size on the front here as a credit card, obviously a bit thicker, but still something manageable if you want to put it into a pocket or store it with you onto a backpack pocket when you're traveling. On the front here, you have access to the company's logo. The sides also features a dedicated power switch. You can turn that until the unit turns on, and then continuously adjust the volume. So it's also going to be handy for, let's say, a computer that might have a very low volume setting and you can't really hear what's going on. Instead of going via the software route, which may damage your speakers or your headphones, you can just use this amplifier instead. And there's also the two 3.5mm jacks on the top, one for input, one for output. So plugging your headphones in, the other one goes directly onto your device. So all pretty standard. The sides here features access to the aforementioned mini USB port for charging, and then there's also a battery release mechanism for opening up the metal on the back. Some basic info about the model number from Fiio, which is a Chinese-based OEM, but they have made some pretty quality devices in the past, so decent in terms of reputation. And behind this, you can insert the battery into place. The sides here also features a few keys that you can go through for selecting the EQ as well as the gain level. So you can see here the high, the low. EQ can be set to 2, 1, or 0, and these things can change, again, the sound signature of the music that you're listening to. Not a huge range of things that you can really edit, but then again, this is a really portable amplifier meant for people who are on the go instead of something more expensive, more geared towards real audiophiles. However, this can change things like the bass amount, the pressure levels, and the dynamic range of the music you're listening to. And other things that Fiio is claiming here is that it has a closed APLS potentiometer to ensure that it has low noise and excellent channel balance, which is to say that the overall sound is clean, doesn't have any static, and still creates this nice enhanced bass and enhanced volume that you would want from a again, amplifier in the first place. So again, it does have a overall pretty clean presentation, and you can still use it when it's charging. There's two LEDs in the very top here that shows you the power status and once the battery is getting low. And so we'll take a quick look at the performance and discuss the overall quality of the unit in terms of performance. So here's what the unit looks like once we have the battery door opened up, and again, we can just pop in that standard Nokia battery, which is pretty easy to replace. You can also get spare ones, and after fully charging it, I was able to play back audio on here for about 12 to 14 hours or so before I need to give another recharge. So it's pretty simple. Afterwards, you just line on the prongs and then slide in the back door. There's actually a mechanism, in the sense there's a key or a button on the sides there which you can tap on to facilitate the process of popping this back plate on and as well as off. Otherwise, it's pretty simple to start using it. You can just then plug in your headphones or maybe a speaker onto the top there, and the other side would be plugged into, let's say, a phone, for instance, or an MP3 player. So if we want to turn this on, we just use the jog dial on the side there, and you can see that the light comes on and indicates power is up, and there's also another LED that shows you the charging when that process is being done, and when it's completed, the light here is actually going to flash off. So obviously, as far as amplifiers go, it does much more than, or at least Fiio's amplifier, than just make the sound louder. So if you're someone who is, of course, constantly tired of really low music or volume levels, let's say on a lower quality computer or on the laptop or on your phone, then this is one way to boost that setting up. But it also enhances the audio in other ways, which are dependent on the type of headphones that you're wearing. But in general, they do make the sound a lot more three-dimensional. They're punchier. They make the sound brighter and a lot more dynamic and impressive. So if you're watching a soundtrack, for instance, or maybe some kind of thriller or movie, it just makes the suspense higher. Otherwise, again, it really is meant to drive, let's say, higher and more expensive headphones, which require that extra power to operate. So, of course, Fiio has also produced many other models, and by today's standards, this version has actually been out for quite a while, and they've released some successors in the form of slight upgrades to the battery as well as to some of the performance aspects, but all in all, this still does a really good job, and I found that the sound itself had a really wide and deep sound stage, and so there was a lot of detail that I could hear, and it made a definite difference if you're just popping in, let's say, a pair of headphones onto these, and the other side is plugged into, let's say, a phone, then compared to just the traditional audio quality you'll get by plugging in a standard headphone into your device, your MP3 player or phone directly. So it definitely does work, and for music enthusiasts, for audiophiles, and people looking for a high fidelity audio experience, this is definitely something to consider, especially since this version has been out for quite a while. It still works very, very well, but the price point is heavily reduced, and you can pick one up at a pretty low cost for one of these quite compact audio amplifiers. You can check out more details about this in our official written review, but for now, this has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.